Hello everybody, my name is Cathy Galvin. I'm a parishioner at St Cuthbert Main in Larnson. I hope everybody's very well. My reflection is prompted by walking the lanes. Just simply how fortunate we are here if we can leave home to be able to just go for beautiful walks in the countryside. And at this time of year, as we know, it's just gorgeous. You know, the fields are full of lambs, the lanes are full of bluebells and cow parsley and pink campion. Everywhere, trees are in leaf, beaches looking absolutely glorious, and we've had this particularly lovely weather. So I often walk from my home here in Alton. And then I'll come to other kinds of fields where the hedgerows are barely evident and there's certainly no trees in them. And it's interesting because, of course, man has shaped the gorgeous hedgerows, and man has also shaped fields which are a bit like a desert, where there are no trees, there is no shelter, sometimes there are no animals, there's certainly no wildlife as such. So on these walks, I've been reflecting on what happens when mankind commercializes the great gifts of nature we've been given. And you can see that in a wide open treeless field. And what happens when we just let things be, like an old hedgerow. This isn't a denial of the fact we have to work and live, or a criticism of rural practices. It's just something felt and observed walking the lanes. And it makes me wonder what happens to us in our everyday and spiritual lives if we stop activity and let ourselves and the world around us simply be. We're approaching the 5th anniversary of Pope Francis's great encyclical Laudate Si, in which the Holy Father critiqued consumerism, irresponsible development, environmental degradation, and reminded us of the great truth that everything is connected. COVID-19, of course, has reminded us all of just how connected we are and how fragile that can be. And we find ourselves wondering, what kind of better world, closer to God, can we create when the worst of the pandemic is over? And wondering whether we have the strength to make a better world. In slowing down, we've seen how people can help each other, talk to each other more kindly and more openly, even at a safe distance. We have experienced a slower way of life, with cleaner air, where we can actually hear the bird song. In our readings after Easter, there was a strong resonance with this sense of a changed place, a place perhaps that we don't quite understand, a little like Jesus walking beside the apostles after the resurrection and them not recognizing him. Something is different, something is changed. And I'm very taken with, in the Old Testament, this short extract from, it's Isaiah 43, 16 to 21. And the prophet Isaiah said, and this seems to have such a strong feeling for today, "Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." What is that new thing that's about to happen? Perhaps some of the new thing is simply time to reflect on the tenets of early Christianity, that sense of what it means to serve the poor and not be enslaved by possession. Perhaps it's in thinking about Laudate Si and what our connectedness as Christians really means. When we cut back too much, the fields look ill and the world around us looks ill. There's nothing that can flourish or surprise or give us joy. And when we exploit our own inner resources, the result feels much the same. Isaiah saw God making a new way in the midst of crisis. There was a way of living with the wilderness and with our wildness. It was a message of trust in God and the Holy Spirit. I'm not quite sure where my works and walks and thinking is leading, but it's somewhere in the beauty of what is left alone, in the hope that understanding the heart of wildness and wilderness and God's purpose within that will help us think about the world we want to emerge from all of this. And so I'll just leave us again with Isaiah. Do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. I'm about to do a new thing. So wishing us all a new thing, and time to be, and time for things to grow. And God bless and keep well.